Alec Boehm, your dad.
Yes!
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me take away with
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC, UPenn's finest, and Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today. We'll be talking about the painfully mid NFC South, but there's a lot of young talent to talk about. There's a lot of potential upside with these teams, so a lot to talk about there. We're going to be reacting to the top 100. I believe 90 or 80 through 71 is getting dropped right now, or something like that. Or 90 through 80. I don't know what it is, but that's currently going on right now. Already some questionable things through the first 20 or so players. We're going to be talking about Jaylen Brown getting the highest, richest contract in NBA history. And then we're going to be finishing it off with, we will debate which game is worse. EA Sports Madden or NBA 2K. But before we get into any of that, just real quick shout out. I guess you could say this, my Plummet, but all of us want to say prayers up to Bronny James, the son of LeBron James, went into cardiac arrest late Monday night. He is now in stable condition out of the ICU, but you really hate to see something like that. Ignoring, even stepping back onto a basketball court at the moment, we just really hope that he's okay. I can say that's my Summit. As of right now, he's okay. He's in stable condition. So that's my Summit and Plummet. Sad that it happened. Happy that he is okay, though. He is in a good spot. But I'm going to kick it to Christopher or Danny. If you got one, go ahead.
Well, it's not. I'm just commenting. This is something pretty close to us. One of our friends actually died at the age of 18 from having a heart attack.
Yes.
Yes. So right out of high school. So he's a hooper
too.
Yeah.
And funny thing about Paris, Paris suffered from what every 6'3" kid in high school did. When you're the tallest kid in the school and you're really a guard. You're really a guard at heart. But they was like, man, post your ass up. Nah, Paris was really built to be a guard. I mean, he was only 6'3". I mean, that's tall compared to everybody else. But for real, he's just a guard. Right. Yeah, it's serious stuff, man. And to say anything besides prayers up in the moment is weird. And I took to Twitter about that. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But Chris or Danny, if either y'all want to take the floor with a Summit or a Plummet so we can get things rolling.
Kick it off with a Plummet. This team right here, they stink. They
Horrible.
Stink. What they've been doing
I'm throwing this out.
Weeks. Trey Turner, you're an abysmal player right now. Turn that shit around or you're going to be seeing yourself out of Philly in 3 years. Like, bro.
Oh, my God.
You need to realize that the Philadelphia Phillies, you can't come out here and be a game out the playoff spot and lose like 4 straight. You're getting bailed out because the rest of the teams in the wild card suck too.
Yeah, we're down 3-2, mid-ninth right now, so we're about to be up. Bryce hit a homer. No one else has done anything. Bohm and Marsh are 1 for 3. Rojas is 1 for 3. And then, look at these big 3 contract guys. Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos, a combined 0 for 10. I love this team. And
you know what's even funnier? It's against a guy who played for them last year, so they saw him every single day.
Yep. Rough. That's how it goes. But Chris, please give us a Summit. Positive vibes. I'm done talking about the Phillies.
I hope Trey Turner's it around. But I think my Summit for real though is my girl Sabrina Ionescu just had a triple-double today. I'm almost sure she had 12, 12, and 12. I think that's exactly what she had. And they won in a really, really close game. So shout out to her. That's my Summit.
That's what triple doubles used to be. Them Rondo type triple doubles where 15, 10, and 11. Now you get 60, 20, and 10 from Slovenian boy wonder. Like
literally.
What?
Unreal stats.
My
Danny,
last Summit
though. Yeah, go ahead.
Kenny Pickett is getting hyped up. He is getting the love and attention he deserves. His arm strength looks phenomenal. He has he always had his zip on the ball. He always knew how to fit the ball in his tight places. He had anticipation. But if he could throw that D ball and sling that thing downfield, It's over for the NFL. This man is Joe Burrow 2.0, calling his shots here right now.
Joe Burrow only being like 26, 27 and already having people being the next him. Shout out to him. Shout
out to him. I hate the Bengals, but love Joe Burrow.
Sabrina Ionescu, 12, 12, and 12, 2 for 14 from the field.
Oh, she put up a generational stinker from the field. She played terrible. Jewel Lloyd couldn't make a shot. It was like watching them play blindfolded. It was actually insane.
That's a Jason Tatum stinker. That's like he gonna stink. He gonna stink, but that stat line gonna look good at the end of the night. He gonna be like 9 for 30, whatever. He gonna have 30 though.
Jewel Lloyd night, for sure.
Yeah. And Chris, if you had a plummet, and then
what's my plummet? Yeah, the thing about Brian was really, really sad, but also too, what am I? I don't have a plummet. I have really just had. Oh no, I do. We lost yesterday, so the season we started another session of the same league, newer teams, different teams, but we lost yesterday by 3, and I didn't put up a generational stinker, but it was a stench that hadn't been smelled in a while. So that is my plummet. It wasn't great. I didn't play great. I didn't look great. I was out there. I think I had 11. I was like 4 for 7, so I didn't like play bad. I just didn't like be a. It was a nasty game. It was nasty. So yeah, that's my plummet.
We were hooping yesterday, and I put 10 points on out of 12.
See, Dan should pick your talent for yesterday. See, next time talk to me before you go. All right, use your talent.
All right,
I don't have none anymore. I'm done.
What Tony said after that, he said you used up your talent for the month.
No, Danny actually hit a crate. No, you gamed. You were on my team. You had it top of the key, and you shot the game winner for the one game. I think it was like our second to last game or something like that.
I was hooping. I told you 50, 40, 90 for me.
I don't know where he get the 90% from in pickup, but okay.
50 plus 40 is 90.
Exactly.
Danny can let you know.
90% on open shots.
I got you.
Nah, me and Danny, for real, we don't lose if we being quite honest. But nonetheless, let's start with the New Orleans Saints, whose line is set at 9.5. I'm going to start with Danny. This team is the lines will tell you this is the favorite to win a division. I don't know if you have, different things in mind. It's just what I'm asking you is what is your expectations? This is essentially the same team, except they just upgraded tremendously at quarterback. I just want to hear your thoughts on the Saints. This is probably the most boring team of any to actually talk about.
I think the New Orleans Saints have a phenomenal running back room. And Alvin Kamara, whatever is going on with him, I don't even care. The running back room outside of him is great. They have power. Yeah. They have speed. Kamara can play the receiving game if they really need him. The receiving room, if MT's even around with Olave, Derek Carr has weapons. He's more weapons than he did last year. And no one's going to talk about that. Devontae Adams was phenomenal. He's great. He's one of the best receivers in the last 20 years. But the thing that happens is he was the only receiver. There's weapons all around here. And with a decent head coach, Dennis Allen, I believe that the Saints will win 10 to 11 games.
I definitely see that vision. I was telling Chris before the show that the Saints' path to winning division is probably the most boring take, but it's simple. They have the best defense, most likely, of any of these teams. Besides, I don't want to say if the Bucs get back to form, but nonetheless,
hell
the
no.
Saints, I don't know. I don't know how Tom Brady makes a defense look better, but nonetheless, Saints.
Devin White he got exposed last year for what he is. Like
he's washed on. Yeah, to be quite honest. But back to the Saints. Best quarterback, best defense. It's honestly it's a very simple recipe for success. And like you said, Michael Thomas being back, upgraded running back room. I'm excited. Second year Chris Olave. I don't know. There's not really to talk about with the Saints. I mean, they got Derek Carr, but I bet if you were to ask anybody, is Derek Carr moving the needle? No, they're not contenders or anything.
How long until Colin Kaepernick is the starting quarterback for the Saints?
Wait, what?
I said, how long until Kaepernick is the starting quarterback? He made a comeback.
I thought you like had a news bomb. I was like, did Kaepernick just sign with the Saints? Like, oh my god! I was like, I don't remember this. I feel like I will remember this. Nah, I mean, look, bro has been blackballed into a washed age. So like now the excuse is, oh, he's old. So, you know, it's forever with Kaepernick. But like, yeah. I just want to ask Chris. So Michael Thomas staying healthy for a full season is not happening, but Michael Thomas and Chris Olave as a receiving duo, if they were to stay healthy, they are a top what receiving duo in the NFL?
It's just off the top of my head without even really thinking for real. I would say top 8. I would say top 8. That's my boy Danny. And if Danny said 8, then I'm right. Then I know I'm right.
I like
then
that.
Right.
No. I agree.
Right.
I definitely agree with you guys on that one. But again, not much to talk about the Saints. So I really want to move on to the Carolina Panthers because hey, they got something going for them in the fact that they could, win the division. I'm more so talking from the standpoint that they have Bryce Young. Bryce Young is something to look forward to. He was all of our QB1s unanimously. I know like Anthony Richardson started getting mad hype, and we all like Anthony Richardson. We all like CJ Stroud. This kid has been showing it off for 2 years. He was the best player in college football besides last year because Caleb Williams is different. But nonetheless, Chris, I was going to ask you first, what are the numbers looking like for a rookie Bryce Young to look back and be like, that's the number 1 overall pick? Like, that was the right choice for Carolina.
Honestly, I think him just being a dual threat quarterback is just going to be enough. So I could see him throwing for 23 to 2,500 yards, 500 to 700 yards rushing, 25 to 30 total touchdowns. Keep the turnovers under 15 as far as, interceptions and fumbles, and I think he's in a good space.
Yes.
Like I said, I think it's really just him developing. Like I said, he's the guy. And if you want your team to do well, you got to have a good quarterback. So you just want to get him as many game snaps as you can, as many throws under pressure, as many, time to see different defenses as you can, because he's your guy moving forward. So I think that's a successful season. And I wouldn't say he has a great amount of weapons, just, on the nicer side, to be nice. I don't think he has a great amount. But I don't think he has the worst set either. So, just hoping they can gel. Hopefully he can just, just be a dual-threat quarterback, what they drafted him for.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Just, get better every day. That's kind of the mindset for a lot of these teams with the rookie QBs. And I like that the yards weren't extremely high, at least throwing wise. And that's okay. They're probably going to try to run the hell out of the ball. You're paying Miles Sanders $7 million. You better be able to run it.
I don't get that. How you refuse to pay Christian McCaffrey 12 to 15, but you just hand out 2/3 of that to Miles Sanders. I will never understand that.
Yeah, and that's no jab at Miles Sanders. That he is one of, I would say, a top 10 to 15 back in our league, but we're talking about Christian McCaffrey that when healthy is probably the best back in our game, which is something that is a little unreliable. So most people will like to defer to Chubb or Henry or JT when healthy, but yeah.
And again,
Danny,
their package that they got back from the Niners was phenomenal.
Yes, that is true. Because I think it was just a good idea. I mean, it's like, oh, why would you pay Sanders but not him? But in the end of the day, trading McCaffrey just turned out to be it was a good move. Like if we're keeping it plain and simple, it was a good move. I like the direction they're heading in. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we all have the same expectations for them. Just go out, be competitive.
Have fun.
Bryce Young, yeah. All right, fellas, let's go out there, have fun. Cancun on 3,
Part 2, but part 2, literally. Yeah.
This, bro, we're about part 6. There's a lot of teams we've talked about so far where it's like, all right, fellas, just go out there, have fun. But
Cardinals, Texans, Panthers.
Yo, Cardinals. Having fun out there is going to be a tall task. But
yeah, they might not have much
Panthers,
fun.
Yeah,
Cleveland Browns, you're next.
Yep. I don't want them to have fun.
No, they don't
deserve fun.
Yeah, they don't deserve fun with that freakazoid taking snaps.
Literally, go out there, win 5 games, and hate doing it.
Exactly.
Hate doing it.
Yeah.
Hate making millions for a living.
Facts. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be honest. We haven't really given like over underlines for any of these teams. I think Saints. Well, Danny said they'll get there. I don't know how many of these teams.
I think they're on the hook at 9. I think the Saints get 9 on the head.
Now, this team, Danny is very high on this offense, so I'm going to let him spill a little bit. What are your expectations for this young offense, and essentially, what do you expect out of Desmond Ridder? Because this is a prove-it year. If he can't prove he's the guy, they're not going to keep him. It's kind of like Jalen Hurts, but yeah.
Everything I said. So before I go further, everything I said about the Phillies, they just walked it off against the Orioles in the ninth. So I'm sorry.
You're lying. You're lying.
Walked it off.
Who did it?
Alec Bohm, your dad.
Yes. I freaking love Alec Bohm, man.
But I'm gonna go in about the Atlanta Falcons, another bird team like the Philadelphia Eagles. But
it was 2 outs. I think I went on a rally. Sorry, go ahead.
They did go on a rally. The Atlanta Falcons have 3 guys that I love. The first one is named Arthur Smith, and he coached Derrick Henry. He's the reason Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's a beast. Don't get me wrong, but what he did for him in Tennessee, as he's going to replicate that for a dude named Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and Cordero Patterson. And guess what? You want to try to stop the run? They're going to throw it to Kyle Pitts or Drake London. Try to stop that. Desmond Ridder's life couldn't be easier.
Yeah, like even so, like he doesn't have to go out there and be Superman. And to be quite honest, never in his career did he have to in his years at Cincinnati and even last year. But man, like you said, like Arthur Smith, okay, he got this physical freak of a back in Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can never catch the ball quite like Bijan could. Bijan could legit play slot receiver. And so what he is about to unlock in Bijan Robinson is going to be special. You ask a lot of people. He was a top 5 just prospect in this draft. But because of positional value, no one thought he would really go super early. And then the Falcons are like, hey, we got Tyler Algier, but let's add him. This dude could be a Swiss Army knife, and Tyler Algier can play third down back, and we could do this with Cordell Patterson. I see your vision, and I think I got them a lot. I think I can get them for 8 wins. I think I can really get behind that. Chris,
I'm taking the over, and I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Bijan Robinson is like Najee Harris, but faster and quicker, and that's scary.
And better, unfortunately.
So but I got 2 double downs. I got the Falcons over 7.5 wins for sure. I got them at least 9. I like their offense too, like Danny said. Also, too, I picked Bijan Robinson as offensive rookie of the year too, just because I think he'll get the chance to. But yeah, outside of that, I think it's just time for the Dirty Birds to come back. It's been a long time, so I think it's just time for them to come back. I like Drake London, and I'm a really big fan of Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is actually my second favorite tight end, not named Mark Andrews, of course. I really like him. I hope he does well. I know he got a little bit of slant, a little bit of hate. I was seeing on Twitter a little bit, and it was kind of weird. I'm like, dude's not even 27 yet, and he's still got time to grow. And he's the fastest tight end I've seen in a long time, in my opinion. So I like Kyle Pitts. I like the Falcons, like they're putting together. Honestly, this is the bad side about this take. I actually hope that the Falcons do well, but Desmond Ridder doesn't, so they draft another quarterback. I'm not a big fan of Desmond Ridder. I think this team, the way they're building their offense now, a dynamic for real playmaking quarterback would take them to a whole nother level. Like you said earlier, Tom, I think he doesn't have to be Superman, and that's cool. Like sometimes you just need a game manager, but I think this team you break the offense wide open having a real playmaking quarterback. So
shout out to Kyle Pitts, man, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania legend. And we're gonna move on right to the Bucs. Baker Mayfield's Bucs, to be exact. 6.5 wins. You go from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. How do you feel about life? Like, legitimately, how are you feeling about yourself? You're going from the greatest quarterback to ever walk this planet, not named Patrick Mahomes.
There you go.
And then
Danny knows ball.
You're going to a first overall pick who has a crazy arm. He just has like meatballs for brain. Dude, like Baker Mayfield has all the talent in the world, and people are going to shit on him and say, oh, Baker Mayfield sucks. He doesn't suck. He just doesn't have a brain. Baker Mayfield is better than Carson Wentz. He's better than a lot of these guys that have these crazy arm talents, right? Baker Mayfield has a better arm, but what he doesn't have is an IQ.
So I want to say thank you to Danny. So I'm happy with my mic real quick, and he went host mode and took us into the Bucs segment. But so Danny, over or under 6.5 wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Give me the under, because guess what? if Baker's leading them, they're taking the under. If Kyle Trask's leading them, if Colin Kaepernick's leading them, I don't see this team winning more than 5 games.
Yeah, I'll say this: if Kyle Trask is leading them, they're not going to win a football game. I 100% believe that.
Caleb Williams, you are a Buck.
You are a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, my friend.
He could be a Cardinal too. Those are
Cardinals get 2 chances. The Cardinals get 2.
They go get him and Marvin Harrison Jr. So they gonna be living. They're gonna be living, man.
Yo,
don't trip on it. This team's horrible. I'm going under as well.
Mike Evans and Marv would be insane.
Well, that's cheating. It's actually cheating.
And Godwin. Oh my God,
cheating. It's cheating, actually.
Yeah, actually I mean, I'll say we're pretty much all going under here, but hey, trust. They're getting under 6 wins, but Mike Evans is still getting that 1,000 yards. So yeah, he'll continue to make history.
85 catches, 1,000+ yards. Pencil him in. He's got it.
Yep, exactly.
Somehow, some way.
All right.
He'll play 3 games and do it.
So we're gonna move on to reacting to the top 100 players list, which is voted on by the players. And what a lot of people like to do is use this list to back up their players' rankings to do it justice, which it's not true. And primary example, Trevor Lawrence came in at 96. Justin Fields came in at 86. Tua Tagovailoa came in at 82. So assuming these quarterbacks still have to be on there, I'll assume Jared Goff is going to be on there because he had the most overrated season ever last year. Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins going to be on there. Dak, I'm going to assume, of course, the top 6 are going to be there. Jalen, Lamar, Herb, Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes. You look at it like roughly 9 quarterbacks, and then you include Tua and Fields. Come on, bro. Trevor Lawrence is not the 11th or 12th best quarterback in football. No. In my opinion, he's 7th. And I think at worst is like 9 maybe. But here's the thing. Tua is like whatever. Tua, when healthy last year, Danny can back it up. Chris can back it up. When healthy last year, he was very good. Oh, Chris knows very well how good Tua was last year in that Ravens comeback. I'm sorry, but
you have to.
but like Justin Fields, and then DeAndre Hopkins, who has barely played any football in the last 2 years, is 10 spots ahead of Devontae Smith. No, and to be like no, and even in the times that he has played in the last 2 years, Devontae Smith has looked better this past season.
I think your mic's gone, so I'm gonna take over for a minute. Devontae Smith has an argument for being better. D-Hop has like the legacy. It's an argument, but it's hard because like legacy matters when it comes to like being a receiver. It doesn't matter for some positions, but when it comes to being a receiver, they respect you. They respect the hell out of you for being who you are. So I don't really hate that too much. One thing I do hate is DK Metcalf being out on the top 100. Chris, how do you feel about that? DK going on the top 100?
I don't think that's valid. I'm not a big Tua fan, and it's not just because they came back and beat the Ravens, but I don't know, man. It's so many skilled players in the NFL and so many actually just skilled positions that all these 100 lists is also going to be a lot of controversy every time. I do think that Trevor Lawrence should be higher. I think that DK Metcalf should definitely be on the list. Like if Devontae Smith's 100, if D Hop's did Tone say 92 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I think DK is at least 4 to 5 spots ahead of DeAndre Hopkins, even everything considered. Like today, not legacy DeAndre Hopkins, but today. So I don't know. I think these lists are always going to be weird, especially because, like I said, football. You got some people making having important years, and they may bump them up a crazy spot. Like Tone said, Jared Goff having a crazy year is going to put him in a place he probably wouldn't be if you were just talking about just how he is as a player, not just an incredible season. So I think it's just difficult, man. Really difficult.
It's also really hard because like football is a sport where you could see a rookie be a top 100 player in the league. In the NBA, you don't see a rookie be like, wow, like you're changing the game. Like, imagine a rookie being a top 5 at their position. That's essentially what being a top 100 player in the NFL is.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting at.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Just want to double check real quick. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hear you now.
And imagine Paolo Banchero being a top 5 small forward last year.
He is.
Hey, I'll say this. I think Paolo was in the top 6 in power forwards last year because he's really a 4. I would put him in my top 6. 100%.
Yeah, because Franz played the 3. So yeah,
he's the 4. That's what I'm saying.
He's somewhere between a 3 and a 4. I mean, I don't really care where you list him. You know,
just know he top 5.
He borderline
top 5 at some. He top 5 at some.
Yeah, Paolo will get the MIP too, and the Magic are going to be the 7 seed. Remember I said this today, y'all. Remember I said this.
I penciled them in as a play-in favorite. I said they could make the playoffs
anywhere
if he
from
makes
7
that
to 10.
Luka LeBron like jump, which I was a big like last year. I was like, Paolo's the best rookie since LeBron James. Like
I'm gonna tell you right now, right
here,
right
impact,
now,
like this dude's nice.
He did 27-4 last year as a rookie.
In our opening segment, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Paolo Banchero will lead the Magic to a better record and overall better season than the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh. Hey, I mean, Cavs were exposed a little bit in the playoffs. And here, at least if we're going to talk basketball, I'm going to change it to our basketball header. But yeah, big expectations for the Magic next year, in my opinion. But like, if they don't make the playoffs, like it's really not the end of the world. They're not in a situation like the Chicago Bulls. But Jaylen Brown, highest paid player ever. I'm going to start with Chris because not saying Danny hates him, but like Danny's a Sixers fan and then I'm a Celtics fan. So like we both maybe have incentives to feel some type of way, but Chris is unbiased. Lay it down. What's the facts about this contract?
It's one of those ones, man. I think it's one of those things that you had to do, whether you wanted to see it happen or not. It's just you don't break up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown right now. You just don't do it. It doesn't make sense to. They're 2 of the top 5 to 6 wings in the NBA right now, and they're both under 27 years old. It's just you don't do that. I mean, some people talk about how the trade kickers in there and all these other incentives, but it's like every all NBA player now, like moving forward, is gonna get things like that. They're gonna get those type of contracts. So I mean, I think it's something you had to do. We all knew it was coming. It's really only gonna look crazy that last year, like that when it's like 64, I think, or somewhere, it's gonna really look crazy then. I mean, hey, I like it. At first, I was a little on the fence about it, but it's like at the same time, he's your second best player. If God forbid Jason Tatum was to go out for some weeks or something like that, Jaylen Brown's going to be your guy. You're going to pay him like a guy. So I think it's worth it. I think he's worth it in today's NBA because, I mean, the contract's only going to get bigger and bigger. I think he's worth it today. Yeah, and it was a big deal by the Celtics, too, for them to really just, they're in on JT, JB, and KP. They're in on those guys. And it showed. They extended KP, gave Jaylen Brown his money. Now I think that for the next 3 to 4 years, they're going to solidify that team. And I like what they got going on right now. So
I'm going to tell you this.
Go, Daddy.
In the NFL, the same thing's happening. We didn't have this as a headline today, but Herbert got a bag. He getting $100 million 2 years from now. But guess what? Patrick Mahomes, I had to make a point tied in. Mahomes is now the 8th highest paid quarterback in the league. JB will be like the 8th or 9th highest paid shooting guard 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, that's how things work. You get incentivized for extending your guys earlier, and you get them on cheaper deals because the new deals and new CBAs keep pushing these contracts up. And I'm not gonna lie, like prayers up to Bronny, but if he makes it to the league, by the time he's like 30, his supermax is going to be for $600 million.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think a lot of people are just taking this opportunity to like crap on Jaylen Brown because you are as good as the last time I saw you, and that's never been true. More true than right now. Jaylen Brown, there were times in that Phillies series where Twitter would be erupting that Jaylen Brown was the Celtics' best player.
And then 2 weeks later, this guy couldn't be a high schooler that could go both ways because he can't dribble with his left, which is a little untrue, a little not. I'm not going to argue that. Here's my point. You have to reach certain levels. You have to be all NBA. You have to make all-stars. You got to do certain things to be eligible for this contract. You think Desmond Bane is just up for this contract just because? Not everyone in that class is eligible for that extension. They're not. Ben Simmons and Jaylen Brown are in the same class. Ben got a $180 million extension. Jaylen Brown got $120 million. Next time around, they're up for contract extensions. Nobody wants Ben Simmons. Jaylen Brown's making $300 million. And by the way, Brandon Ingram's nowhere to be found in any of this. But you have to do something good to get this money. Is he overpaid? Yeah, everyone in the NBA is overpaid, unless you're like Giannis, Jokic, or Steph, or Luka, like whatever. So in my opinion, it's going to be okay. Like Danny said, 5 years from now, no one's even going to blink at this contract because it's going to be like a 25-point per game scorer on a team that's constantly playing in late May, June. That's like, it's just taking an opportunity to crap on this team. And people are like, oh, well, they have Kristaps on this big extension and Tatum's going to get all this money. Well, Kristaps Porzingis actually took $60 million less. $60 million is like a solid NBA role player in today's league. So that will help down the road.
And this is one of those stories where context matters too, Tom. Like a lot of people miss and forget. Like people are comparing Jaylen Brown's newly signed deal in 2023 to what Giannis is making today when Giannis signed that extension 2-3 years ago now. Like, context matters. And like Danny said, TV deals happen. Money comes in. So every 2 or 3 years is going to look crazy. Like when Biyombo got that crazy extension that crazy contract from the Raptors after averaging 10 rebounds in the playoffs, everybody thought that was crazy. Now you have worse role players getting that type of money. It just as the game evolves, contract evolves, TV money evolves, it just evolves. You have to keep it in perspective. Is Jaylen Brown a top 2 player on a contending team? Yes. Is he being paid like one?
And there's people saying Kristaps Porzingis is going to end up taking the co-star spot. Stop.
It doesn't even matter if he did. You have to have wings in the NBA to win. Jokic was the best player on the Nuggets. Porter, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown brought that series home for them because of how good they were on the wing. And Jaylen Brown's an elite two-way wing. Elite. He can't dribble his left hand as great as some other people, but at the end of the day, he's a two-way elite player, and he's your second best guy. You have to pay him like so.
Here's one thing I actually wanted to say. I wrote this in an article, and it was kind of about John Morant. If you're the number one on a team, you have to be good 2 out of 3 things. You got to be an elite scorer, elite playmaker, or an elite defender. You have to be 2 of those. Ja is a really good scorer. He's below average. He's a good reactor playmaker, but he can't anticipate. He's a horrible defender. Jokic is a phenomenal scorer, the best passer in basketball, is a bad defender to keep it relatively, modest. And then your number 2 has to be elite at one of them, in my opinion. Jaylen Brown, elite on-ball defender, elite scorer. And that's what I think it takes to be a number 2 in this league. Jamal Murray, phenomenal playmaker, phenomenal scorer. You look back at every single one of, the past championships, you'll find it. Steph, good scorer, good playmaker. His running man, you could say it's Draymond, good playmaker, good defender. Every single team, you'll find it. The top guy, good at 2 of the 3. Next best guy, good at 1 of the 3. And Jaylen Brown is good at 2 of the 3. So, I do think he's worth $300 million. Danny,
what is James Harden good at?
James Harden is elite scorer when he wants to be and great playmaker all the time. Yeah. Embiid is a great scorer and is
I'll even give James Harden elite playmaker. I'll even give him that. I think he's elite at it.
Oh, elite, a very elite playmaker. Embiid is a good defender, a good scorer. It's just, I don't know. You can't stay healthy. Neither of them can stay healthy.
The dichotomy between Philly sports is funny. Bryce Harper tries too hard and gets hurt, and Embiid doesn't try hard enough and gets hurt.
This is why when you're talking about best athlete in Philadelphia, Bryce and Jaylen, get Embiid out the conversation. It's Bryce and Jaylen. everyone else.
Tyrese Maxey.
I think
actually, to be quite honest, it's actually probably AJ and Bryce, but whatever. Conversation.
It's got to be Bryce. It's got to be Bryce, dude.
Jaylen, Bryce, PJ Tucker.
Yeah. If we're ranking Philly athletes by dog, then we're probably gonna go dog, Jason Kelce, PJ,
Korkmaz right here.
Turkey from Turkey. I forgot Turkey.
It would have been George's Niang up there. He's got dog.
The minivan.
The minivan.
That's the crazy thing.
Bowman Stott got dog. Everybody on the Eagles got dog. Nobody on the Eagles is like a baby. Like everybody's a dog.
B-Ball Paul.
That's how you know how to put it.
Nah, B-Ball Paul, Covey a baby. Britton Covey a baby.
Yo, no, shout out. No, Covey arguably has the most dog because he would go out there and just get destroyed every single time. I actually was there for his longest return of the season. I think it was like 25 yards or something. But while we're talking about football and basketball at once, let's take it to the Take the Skyline segment. What game is worse? NFL Madden or NBA 2K? I don't usually try to start segments myself.
Start it.
2K is horrible, man. I think I'll put it this way. The best 2K is better than the best Madden. But 2K's got misses. 2K really, really has misses. I've not loved that game since 2K17. My personal favorite 2K. That's when I really got into it. I was running Park daily with my friends when you could pick, Rough Riders or Sunset, I think. Was it Sunshine or Sunset? I have no clue. Sunset. But yeah, so a peak 2K is better than a peak Madden. 2K is still the worst game though. Like I truly like it's like a good 4-year run of just a bad game. 18 bad, 19 bad. 20 was like okay. I played it a lot during quarantine, so maybe I'm a little biased, but like it's bad. 21, who was on the cover of that one? Who was on the cover of 21?
Was that Luka's year?
No, I think Luka was 22 and then Book was 23. So 21.
21 was Zion's year.
How he graced the cover before Jason Tatum, beyond me. But
yeah, it was Zion.
This next year they should. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's get through this segment first before I start rambling. Go ahead, Danny.
Madden and 2K, both games that their fan bases and their players complain and bitch about every year that I shouldn't have spent the money. It's just copy and paste. One thing.
They spend the money anyway.
And they spend the money anyway, right? One thing that 2K does better every year is their career mode. Madden doesn't even have one where you could like actually build a storyline. Like in 2K, you like are a person. You like have a story, and then you can go to the park and play with your friends. In Madden, they're finally adding something like that now. 2K in the past will take every cake, but I think with Madden's direction, the way they're going with EA, could beat 2K. 2K sometimes has some weird ass animations and some glitchy things, and that's the thing. Every 2K person knows them though. But Madden just be glitching, and you're like, what just happened? I want to throw my controller at the TV.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. And like when
you'll be seeing Randall Cobb, you see Randall Cobb like mossing like a 6'9" corner.
Yeah, no, and the thing with Madden is if your game glitches, like you could throw an interception, and that game's over. 2K glitches, whatever, a possession or whatever, but like
interception loses you the game too. You miss a shot, it's not losing you the game. It could, but
ball over, it's like whatever, next play. But yeah, but Chris?
Man, I don't know. I equally hate and equally love both of them. I'll probably give the nod to 2K though, mainly because of the storyline. I think Danny already said it. The only L about storylines, you have to spend so much money unless you want to just grind the badge and all that and grind and get your VC. That's the only downside, I think. But I think Madden kind of missed a long time not having that part. Like only be able to give you like you can either be a running back or either be a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like only like kind of narrowing down what you can do. I think that was rough. So I give the give the nod to 2K. And I think Madden is more glitchy than 2K, but 2K is more cheesy. So it's like pick your poison and which one that you hate the most. And I think that's going to really be the thing. So I'd give Madden the L in this one. I think 2K is a better game. Yeah, I do play 2K more, so I do have a bias, I guess you could say. But
as long as we know that they both stink, quick 2K1. Quick 2K1. Who was the best? Like, what was the
Gerald Green
story?
Oh,
we know Gerald Green, the best 2K player of all time. But
no. J.R. Smith
and Rudy Gay. They need their time. Rudy Gay, J.R. Smith, Gerald Green. Those three were crazy.
J.R. Smith will give you like 30 points from 3.
But Tony, answer your question.
He used to not
the
miss,
one with
bro.
Michael B. Jordan as OJ.
Oh yeah. Didn't that game also have like the worst like roommate? That was B, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I tried to I used to like actually try to go to bat for B. I'm like, oh, like it's not that bad. It's that bad. It's that bad. He sucks. But Justice Young was nice. And then you had the bull who was like getting cut and stuff. Yo, he was chill because in practice, when you play with him, he was nice. And then get cut. You like, damn, that was the one game. Like, because I never really liked the style of just going out there scoring as much as you can. I actually did try to like play off ball. Like 2K16, I averaged 16, 6, and 6 on like 60% from the field. I didn't really shoot threes. I made my free throws. Like I was just like a normal impact player. I thought it was cool. But yo, like I don't know. I don't know. Them dudes were nice, but you know. But
I think 2K16 with your friend dying in a car crash.
That was valid too, Danny. That
is wicked though. Like
between those, yeah,
but you feel emotional, dude. You want to go hoop for your friend.
Yeah, and it's like now all you do is rap with Damian Lillard and do weird ass like runway shows. Like, why do I want to do this? I just want to hoop. I don't want to do any of that.
If I got to rap with anybody, I would want to rap with Lonzo. I want to rap with Damian Lillard. I want to rap with Lonzo.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
Or Shaq.
Yeah, or Shaq DJ Diesel. I would rather do that. I'm not trying to listen to Dame Dollar. I'd rather rap with Zoe because he said. Everybody remembers that freestyle where he's spitting and then LaMelo in the back with the shoes. I'd rather rap with Zoe. Yeah. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning into another great episode. I'm sorry that my mic cut out a couple times. I don't know what's up with that. So I'm off the phone. If it sounds buggy, then that is why. But make sure you guys like, subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening to this on the audio platforms, make sure you pre-download the episode, give us a 5-star rating, all that good stuff. Anything to say before we get on out of here?
Kenny Pickett will be a top 10 quarterback by the end of the year. I'm saying this every episode.
Okay. Let me just write that down real quick. Kenny, top 10. All right, noted. Okay.
He's not 7, 8, or 9, or 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. He's 10.
All right, that's valid.
Okay, top 10. I'm gonna put exclamation points. I've been writing down some of our hot takes actually, so we can look back on them.
Keep that pen ready. I got one.
Yeah.
Keep that pen ready.
2 years ago, my hot take was that Nick Chubb.
2
years ago, my hot take was that Nick Chubb is the best running back in the NFL.
Was that 2 years ago or was that last year?
That was 2 years ago.
I would say last year. I think you said JT, and I was like, I think I bullied you into Henry because I was like, no. Henry better. Yeah, but nonetheless, AP New Freezer, Culture 2 by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Take away with